I'm Dan, and this is 10,000 Hours of Indie, a podcast exploring new music and delving deeper into what goes on in the background of the independent music industry. Get involved and help grow this community. Follow on socials, Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, and soon a YouTube channel too, and email me, 10,000indie@gmail.com, if you have any ideas or want to get involved in the podcast itself. I'd love to hear from you. And so, on with the podcast. This is a special episode about Tallinn Music Week 2025, one of Northern Europe's premier showcase festivals. It's taken me a while to get this out, but better late than never. Since 2009, Tallinn Music Week, known also by the abbreviation TMW, has been showcasing the best new talent in Northern Europe and beyond. The festival takes place in spring, which makes the weather a little unpredictable and fun to try and guess. The programme consists of a lineup of multi-genre musical talent across multiple venues in the capital of Estonia, with around 200 bands, 20,000 visitors and 1,000 industry professionals who experience the Tallinn Music Week conference over 2 of the days as well. Many of the festival's musical events take place at Telliskivi Creative City, known for being a bit of a hipster area for tourists, and last year hosted the touring Banksy exhibition, which was great. Living in Helsinki, Tallinn is somewhere I've visited many times, both with friends and family, but last year I visited the festival for the first time, exploring parts of the city I hadn't seen before and seeing far too many bands. Musical overload is something I often suffer from at such events. This year I took a couple of friends with me and decided to take the opportunity to make this the first episode of the podcast. So wielding a microphone and a few festival-related questions, I chatted to some of the bands I was planning on seeing. I spoke with 5 bands this year, although it must be said I didn't manage to get an interview from any from Estonia, although I did try and contact a couple. There's some interesting backstories and insights coming up, so stick with me and together we'll navigate the 2025 edition of Tallinn Music Week. Obviously some bands have travelled further than others. Coming from just over the border in Latvia were Abuses, a 3-piece post-rock band.
When we drove into Estonia, like, oh look, it's not spring here yet. Just one country.
And visiting from Iceland, shoegaze 5-piece Oyama had this to say about the city.
We walked around the old town a little bit. We found it very beautiful, lots of cool architecture, and but we're planning to do more touristy things because we now our show is done and we have a couple of days to just explore and be on vacation in Tallinn, which is great.
Finnish rock band Us had travelled from Helsinki, like myself, and when speaking with them between their soundcheck and show, they had good things to say about their previous Tallinn experiences.
One of the venues was a Kivi Paperi.
Got it, yeah.
And then there was another one called
Uusline.
Oh
yeah.
And the audience was brilliant. It was just a great fun, but then unfortunately everything shut down here as well for a while, and then and after that we haven't come back actually.
Abuses added,
This is our first showcase festival. We don't play a lot simply because there aren't exactly a lot of opportunities. Like especially in Riga, there's a really good, vibrant music scene, but the chances of the options for playing are relatively few unless you're constantly making them for yourself, or you're kind of like the thing of the day, you know.
Wright and 3-piece City Dog were playing in Tallinn for the first time and had already met some locals before their show.
So how are you finding Tallinn? You say you've got a hangover. You went out last night.
So our flight landed about 9 p.m.
Yeah, 9 p.m.
9 p.m. We had a couple too many drinks on the plane.
Yeah.
Checked in at the hotel, which was nice, and then we went straight out to a couple bars. Went to this Irish bar, and we were hanging out with someone from New Zealand, someone from Ireland, people from Estonia, and people from California and France, and we're all just in some weird. It felt like it was 4 a.m. in a kitchen after a party.
Yeah.
But we had just arrived, and we had a great time. Feeling a bit hungover today.
Were they all other bands that you were out with?
No, just people.
They were like locals. Well, like we say people that obviously were from other countries, but they were all people that had moved to Estonia, or like live in Tallinn now. But we met loads of really interesting characters.
All different walks of life. It was really cool.
Flying in from the Faroe Islands, although some members now live in Denmark to study, was Dania O Tausen and her band. I spoke with them the day before they played.
We have been in Tallinn for 2 days, and we have seen the old town and been to concerts, and yeah, it's just been great. And then sauna.
Brighton-based UK three-piece City Dog had some interesting tales about their second attempt at playing Tallinn Music Week.
Soundcheck sounded great off the bat. Only problem is we forgot to take a picture of our amp settings. So we basically soundchecked for fuck all. And at 11:45 at night, when we're back on that stage, piss drunk, I will not be remembering what was on that amp. So,
But you'll be in the state where it won't matter anyway.
and I hope the crowd will be too.
So we were actually offered this about 3 years back, and being younger back then, we booked flights, all excited, and ended up booking with a dodgy flight airline and getting scammed 600 quid to not even come to the festival.
Yeah. Brought fake plane tickets for £600. Never could play or go.
But it might be one of those things that is sort of like, you know, a happy accident, you know. We were just talking about it with our agent upstairs and saying how right now is the right time to be at this festival. It's, you know, it's the right time for the band, whereas 3 years ago it might have been a time where weren't ready for it.
Abuses have also played Tallinn before.
We played here last year for a goth metal club.
Yeah.
The Crypt.
The Crypt. It was an experience. Oh, it was like, you know, we played a show, actually 2 shows in a seaside town. And there was this one promoter who noticed the shows, and then we ended up coming here. To be honest, like a road trip for a band is fun.
Moving on, I spoke to each band about the preparation for their shows. Each band has only 30 minutes to play at the festival, with a few exceptions here and there. So I asked them about preparation for these types of shows, and how they choose which songs will best showcase their abilities. Oyama and City Dog had this to say.
Yeah, it can be hard, but this time it was easy because we have this new album that we just released, so we just focused on those songs and just picked out the songs that we like most on that album and one from our previous stuff.
I mean, we were in the spa this morning. So
Yeah,
that's not a usual preparation.
No, we're not usually sweating out a hangover in a spa.
In the sauna, you know, like. Yeah, today was a bit of a different.
Yeah, today was a bit of luxury. The spa in Estonia, you know.
Us gave an answer I wasn't expecting to this question. Having played such rigidly structured shows my whole life, this answer blew my mind.
Well, I think usually people try to remind us to not change anything in our performance. So I believe we just do what we do the best.
Just get up there and do your show, basically.
Yeah, because there's never a set list, so it's.
Oh, really? You're that band. So you've been doing this for long enough that you know what works, so you can bounce off the audience, basically, in theory.
Yeah, and I think so. Yeah, because I think anyway it's sort of similar as with the DJ, because you have to sort of read the room, and you can't sort of just think like, well, the paper says we have to do this, but the paper was written, I don't know, 7 hours ago, so it doesn't really say anything anymore.
We've always been like, all right, let's do a set which just from start to finish is what we feel it is our best, and our best tunes, like no fucking about, like just give it to them, so at least it's more memorable. We'd rather have people walking away going, oh, I wish they played like a couple more tunes than fuck, I want to go out for a smoke.
Yeah, leave people wanting more, you know?
Yeah.
Dania talked about checking out the location of their show, their time slot, and being one of the bands that play in a foreign language.
We have checked out the venue from the window, like outside. But yeah, because it was closed yesterday when we walked by. But we're gonna go past it now, I think, after this, and see what it looks like. It looks very perfect to us. Not too big, not too small. It's perfect for us. I'm definitely excited, but yeah, also have thought about this time slot, especially because we have some more like chill songs. But I hope that they will just be on the journey with us from the start and or that we can convince them. It's very different, of course. Like I said before, the main thing for me is the lyrics, and it's in Faroese. So when I come get to play outside of Faroe Islands, there is like 50% of the music is, they don't understand. Yeah, it's lost. And that is always interesting. And but I don't see it as like a big negative. I don't know. I also like it when people don't understand the lyrics; they only hear the sounds of it, and of course, I hope that they still get like a feeling, feels the same emotions somehow. And of course, I feel like I have to explain a bit more about the songs so that they are following me. But sometimes things don't have to be explained. You can just play. I think at home, I mostly do the sets. Like I said before, it depends on the venue and stuff, but it's more about like what do I want to say, or like what kind of lyrics do I want to share today.
Moving on, my next musing was on showcase festivals in general, and this one, of course. I asked about past experiences and expectations, both positive and negative. Us, in their usual positive way, were first to comment.
For the negative thing, I don't think there is because the audience is always audience. It's always sort of great to play live. So, but the positive side, I don't know. It's just a great to have another show. And and maybe get to see another country as well at the same time.
Oyama talked a little about the industry side of the festival and the added pressure of having so many industry professionals in the audience.
I don't know about the negatives. Just the positive thing is like when you come to a showcase festival, the people who are coming to the festival are really interested in music and want to discover new music. And also this conference thing where you can meet press and people from the industry, it's very valuable.
Yeah, maybe the only negative I can think of is the competition is quite stiff. There's like a lot of good bands that are vying for the attention of all the industry professionals. So it's like we're not doing anything special to stand out, but we just hope people will like our music.
City Dogs seemed to be a band that loved to travel. So as you can imagine, they were pretty excited to be in Tallinn.
Our mindset is just we will go anywhere, like any gig, anywhere. We will try our best to get there. Yeah. And that doesn't really even go through my mind, and I don't think it goes through your minds when you think about shows and we're like, okay, we never played there before. We don't know any other bands from there. We don't really know people from there. We don't know how it's going to go. But it's almost just like, we'll just see.
Everything is an opportunity. You can travel as much, really far, and you only play half an hour, but that's never in the minds of the three of us. We've only got 30 minutes, and we're going to play to a load of new people that have never heard us before.
I suppose we get to see a lot of our friends here. That's nice. I mean, we've got, having all of us travelled around the Baltics quite a lot. We've got friends in the city, so we can come and do something like this, play a show somewhere else, we can catch up with people that we know. I don't really know in terms of showcase festivals, to be honest. I'm slightly pessimistic about these things. Generally, that's just my opinion.
Abuse's soundbite on their pros and cons was a little more honest with the possible negatives there. Dania took a lot of time to choose the right songs for the audience, mentioning to me that they had to rehearse on arrival due to band members being in different countries. Her take on showcases?
Yeah, so far I think it's mostly just positive. I think our travels were quite okay. We've done worse than this. We're not. Faroe Islands is not that far. I think 2 hours to Denmark and then 1 hour here. It's not that bad. And I think the only negative is maybe that, but that's for every showcase festival. Then it's so short, and you have to really hurry and get as much as you can into this half an hour. And I think my way of doing showcase is just being there and going to the concerts. Hopefully, get to talk to some people, and I don't know. I do it kind of more organically than forcing it.
While watching Oyama, a friend I was at the festival with mentioned that bands from Iceland got their travel costs paid, so I was interested in finding out if this was true.
You don't just get paid automatically, but they have some grants in place that you can apply for, and then you can get some funding, because obviously living on an island, it's quite expensive to tour anywhere outside the country. So it's great that we have this system in place.
2 of the bands I spoke with had already played by the time we interviewed. I wanted to find out a little more about how they thought things had gone during the festival. Oyama surprised me by being quite active on stage for a shoegaze band, which is mentioned in the following clips. Abuses and Oyama's thoughts were as follows.
I don't think we're that complicated a band, technically. Yeah, there were some, technical issues, I couldn't hear myself at all without standing right next to the amp, which I don't mind, because that's kind of how I like it, but I don't really expect it when I'm on the stage and I need to hear everybody else. And there were some weird swells and stuff. That's kind of bollocks.
It was a really good show. We really enjoyed it. It was a nice venue and the audience was great. We, of course, were playing early in the night, so maybe there was not as much energy as there is later in the night. Mm-hmm. But I come from a kind of hardcore punk background, so I used to be in punk bands before we founded Oyama. So, I always like a bit of energy, even though we play kind of slow music. We have these heavier parts.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like even though it was the start of the evening, I thought the audience received us really well, and I saw some people were getting into the music, so it's all I can ask for.
Actually, there's a Finnish lady that came up to me right after the show, which was like, guys, I love them. They're just like the 80s. Coming from a Finnish lady and being from the Baltic just felt so true. I love that.
That's quite amazing, actually. We had a compliment the other night from an Italian girl. Irish Latvian. It was like, you sound just like the cafe bar thing in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is so that 80s, 90s sound, grungy stuff, Pixies and that. So it's kind of fitting, I think.
So summing up the festival, well, overall I love this festival. For one thing, you notice that no one is holding phones trying to record the songs and frankly annoying everyone behind them. You get to see so many bands because the sets are short. The possible exception which does make things challenging is the venues that are out of the Telliskivi area. Travelling too far out to see 1 or 2 bands can seriously restrict how much you can manage to see in an evening, so this year I missed a few bands because they were too far away. The venues themselves are all different. I enjoy the fact that you can be in an art gallery for one show, followed by an almost living room type setting, and then a venue that is specifically for live music. The festival also offers trips, experiences and free gigs around the city, meaning some locals who may not go to the festival have an opportunity to take part in the event too. If you're looking for new music, and mostly from bands you won't have heard of, this is the perfect festival. In Tallinn, it isn't too expensive to eat out, accommodation is pretty cheap compared to many major cities, and travel on local public transport won't cost a fortune. I got a 5-day travel card for €14, and you get €3 back when you hand the card in at the end as well. Super early bird tickets are already on sale for 2026, and I've already got mine, although I will be applying as an artist for next year too. Watch this space.